Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be covering the patch 13.6 notes. So there's not a lot of changes here. It's going to be mostly just targeted towards some of the big outliers in solo queue at the moment. I don't believe this is the MSI patch. If it was the MSI patch, we'd probably see a lot more pro targeted nerfs and buffs. But for the moment, it's fairly small change to this. So overall, it's just a regular solo queue patch. Addressing like outliers and stuff. So to begin with, new champion coming out, Milio actually. So we'll have to see how he performs, whether he gets hotfix nerfed, hotfix buffed, whether he comes out relatively balanced. Just a cool kind of support character. So yeah, we'll have to see about that one. Ashe is getting some follow-ups from the last patch, where they nerfed her towards support, they nerfed support Ashe, but then it ended up hurting ADC Ashe a little too much. So in turn, they are buffing ADC Ashe by plus 5% on the damage on her passive. It's not a huge buff, but it's not supposed to be. It's just making sure that she's not too weak. Ashe is seeing pretty big nerfs. He's still really strong at the moment, even after 2 rounds of nerfs and Archangels being nerfed. He performs really well, and the Leandry's build is still sat at like a 56% win rate, so they are hitting him again. Overall, they wanted to decrease frustration with his ability to wave clear and just really easily siege and stall waves. So he's quite powerful at that at the moment. And in turn, they are going to be nerfing his E from 12 to 10 to 12 seconds flat. His R is going to require more Stardust. His R is going to have a lower stun duration. The cast range is going down. And the stun is also, the knock-up duration on the R is also, empowered R is also going down. And the range of that is also going down. So overall, some relatively, I'd say that the E1's probably the big of the 2 nerfs. You'll still feel this. And the R cast duration will hurt, but overall, yeah, the E1's going to definitely be the big one here. We'll have to see how he performs after. I imagine this will take him down maybe 2.5%, so he'll be 51, 52% win rate. We'll have to see if that puts him in a balanced spot, and whether he kind of lives in this area, or whether he needs to be nerfed more to put him in a balanced spot. So, moving on. Mundo is going to be gaining some base health regen, and then losing some health regen scaling. This is to help his early. This will even out by level 10, and then be a nerf onwards after level 10. So, a slight buff to his early. The W is having its recast timer reduced by 0.5 second. This is actually quite nice for those quick snap moments where you really quickly need to instantly heal if you're being like bursted down by an assassin, and then you can obviously heal back a lot of your health bar. And then E's damage towards monsters is going up by 50%. This is huge. We may see Jungle Mundo coming back. It's pretty bad at the moment, so it would have to be buffed a lot. But this is a lot of damage to be gained on an ability, which is on a relatively short cooldown and already does a lot of damage. Maybe some Emax Mundos might suddenly rise, but I reckon it was to be Qmax, and I don't reckon this will put him in a broken swamp jungle, but I could be wrong. This is a big buff. This is 50%. Galio is gaining a lot of magic damage reductions scaling with the bonus magic resist he gets, which is now going up from 8 to 12. And the magic damage reduction is going from 20 to 40 to 25 to 45. This might encourage, it's also receiving a bit of buff towards physical by 2.5 to 2.5 at all ranks, and yeah, the scaling is going up on that as well by 2%. So overall, it's staying as like half of this value towards the magic damage reduction. Overall, these are really big buffs towards W max Galio. There is a chance that W max into, or like 2 points E into W max could be a thing. I've seen people talking about this. However, we'll have to see how this comes out, whether he becomes too strong off these changes, because this is big mainly for support Galio. That's the first one which comes to mind with W maxing, and E reduced by 1 second also just helps his utility. So maybe support Galio is broken next patch. It also works really well as a good response to a lot of the engage support meta we're seeing at the moment. Make sure you're checking out like Molecule on Twitter. He does a lot of the kind of things on diving into whether a champ has like a different optimal build. Things like Moonstone Maokai might work, or Riftmaker Kennen. It's all very interesting stuff. A lot of the time, they might just be one-offs which pro players try, but some of them do catch on. Talon is receiving some base mana going up. A whole 23. It's not a huge amount, but it's nice for base mana. The passive is going up from 75 to 255 to 80 to 280, and plus 10% bonus 80 on the ratio. This is also relatively nice towards those all-ins where you get your double rake proc, Q, and then auto. Just how it's a huge damage increase at least later on. So there's a lot to that. W rake is also going to have its mana cost reduced by 5. So overall, This combined with this is probably going to like give him one more rake during laning phase. It doesn't add up to too much on the mana front, but the passive damage is where like the real buffs come in, and whether this is enough to give him new lethal thresholds on all the champions could make him really strong, but yeah, it's relatively just going to be this. If it doesn't do a lot, then he won't really budge. But I don't think Talon really needed buffs anyway. I think Talon was a relatively decent champion. You just had to find the right spots to play him in. Vayne is going to be the big one this patch. Here, her bonus movement speed on the passive is going up by 15, 30 to 45. The Q tumble bonus physical damage is going from 60 to 80 to 75 to 115% AD. The empowered attack duration on this is going from 7 seconds to 3 seconds, so you can have technically more rolls within a duration. You just can't hold on to the enhanced auto as much. And the W percent health damage is being changed from 4 to 12 to 6 to 10. Bit of a buff early on this ability, bit of a nerf late. So overall this is going to nerf her scaling on this, but buff it early. Vayne's weakness is her early at the moment, and nothing a bit of her late. I don't think we'll hurt her too much, but we'll have to see. Overall, these it's kind of weird on how this is going to come out. I imagine like a lot of people will try different builds on Vayne. We'll probably see some crit builds, maybe some Navory builds we'll still see on here. And overall, whether these do enough, they might. There is a high chance, like with high AD builds. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. They might be broken next patch. There is also a chance that this doesn't do enough to make AD Vayne viable, and that this ends up being enough of a nerf to on-hit Vayne, that this is overall enough. But for the most part, this is a buff, this is a buff, this is a buff, but can be, there is a nerf aspect to it, and this is a buff early and a nerf late. So I presume Vayne will Vayne's win rate will go up, just there is a chance it could also go down if no, Vayne will be a stronger champ next patch, but there is a chance her win rate will go down if people are trying different builds which don't work. So, yeah, Vayne definitely going to be stronger next patch. Vega is losing 25 base health. His armor is going down by 3. The magic damage on W is going down by 15 early and then up by 5 late. Overall, these are huge nerfs to Vega. The changes really helped bot lane Vega because they gave him a lot more range to stand up to a lot of ADCs, and in time they're nerfing his armor and base health to make it harder to withstand these ADCs, and then the damage going down early on W is going to hurt the bit, well, in the bot lane where you're not getting as much XP as mid lane. So yeah, when this like gets a couple of points, it can like begin to even out. Level 12 if you're maxing W second, which you usually don't. You usually put like 2 or 3 points in W and then you max E. So yeah, it's a big nerf. Definitely gonna hurt him a significant amount. Yumi is having her Q cooldown change from 7.5 to 6.25 to 6.5 seconds at all ranks. The mana cost is going from 50 to 75 to 50 to 100. The unattached missile speed is going down by 150, but enhanced missile speed is going down by 250 as well. 150 and 250. Max range in a straight line is going down by 275. Final chapter is having the overheal duration change from 3 seconds to 1.5, but the shield will last the full duration of the spell, plus this amount of time. And they're removing the bonus resist on the R, so when you hit someone with a wave, it will no longer give them resist. Overall, huge nerfs here. Also pretty big nerfs to the mana cost and the cooldown. When you're maxing this ability, we'll have to see if Yumi can like withstand these nerfs. I imagine she will, but this will definitely hurt the overall champ, and she'll probably lose like maybe 2-3% win rate when she is around a 50% win rate at the moment. Items, Bloodthirster is having a slight nerf towards its shield, 180 to 450 becomes 100 to 400. Big nerf early, minimal 50 health nerf late. Nash's Tooth is gaining 200 gold in cost, but it's gaining 15 ability haste. We'll have to see if this makes champs like Kale, Echo, other Nash's users, Gwen, stronger. Also, Azir, probably the main reason this is being changed. Navory is having the cooldown reduction on autos changed from 50% to 12%. Bloodline is losing 0.05% per stack on the game. And the max health on stacks is going down by 15. So you're losing 15 health here, and you're losing 50 health here late. Like, both of these are really late, so both of these are pretty late at the moment, but slight nerf early towards the Bloodthirster shield. So it does kind of matter a bit. And then the big one is going to be lethal tempo, losing 6% attack speed early on into the game. And then, oh wait, attack speed for ranged users, 30 to 54%, maxed at level 12, to 24 to 54%, maxed at level 18. I didn't know this had been changed to maxed at level 18. This is a huge nerf towards ADCs. This rune no longer being maxed out at level 12 and being maxed out at level 18 means they are really going to be stunted from the early to later levels, where this gain is not going to be as great, and it's staying at the same at max rank. So just overall, really big nerfs to early to mid ADCs, where they would find a lot of their power. Drake changes. Drake is losing some of its bonus ability haste and bonus attack speed. The slow is going down by 5% of the soul. Infernal Drake is losing 1% AD and AP. Mountain Drake is losing 1% on the bonus armor and magic resist. And Ocean Drake is losing 0.5% on the missing health regen. Couple of ARAM changes. Normal Q is getting some sort of April Fool's joke. And there are not really many other changes past that. Competitive is now having the LP win and loss amount when your visible rank approximately matches your MMR, change from 22 to 25. So a bit higher LP gains when you're around your MMR level. Mythic Shop is rotating out for a couple of new skins, and a couple are going out, obviously. 32-bit client is being depreciation, and it's going to be transferred to the 64. A couple of bug fixes and QO changes. QO changes mainly to Viego. Viego will now get stuns from Annie, or gain max stun stacks from possessing Annie, and the tower will no longer have an will no longer track the cooldown. Viego's passive will no longer track the cooldown on Azir Toro. A couple of bug fixes, a couple of skin adjustments, and then the new skin line. Very cool. All these skins look pretty cool. I like the Katarina one. Katarina definitely needed a mythic. She's one of the champs which hadn't had one, and she's relatively popular, so that was kind of surprising. A cool Ashe and Knight skin, Ashe and Guardian Shen skin, and the Cobras to go along with these. So overall, not a particularly big patch. The main ones to look out for are definitely going to be Mundo Jungle, although I don't think it's going to do enough. ADC nerfs, definitely going to hurt the role, so that's good. And then, yeah, the Vayne and Galio buffs are pretty big. The Ashe nerfs are pretty big, and the Yumi nerfs are pretty big. So overall, I have to see how these 4 champs perform after, well, going into the patch, and how they come out after. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.